Yeah. Okay. Well, welcome. It's now 10 years since we began our monthly services here in our home in the South Lakes, and beginning with, I think, just 4 of us. But over the years, we've grown, and sometimes there are over 20 people who gather in our home. And now, whilst we could focus on the downside of lockdown, we can extend the hand of friendship to others via the miracle of technology. I see we've got people joining us today from Sweden, thankfully, because Carina's leading the service. But people not only local to us here, but throughout the UK. And in particular, today, we welcome those from foreign climes who have joined us. We've got Carina from Sweden. We seem to have lost Barbara, also from Sweden. But we've got Linda from USA. And Carina will be speaking to us in a moment about the Focalare movement, of which she is a member. So welcome to all, and especially those who are joining us from outside the UK. But before Carina speaks, let us mention the Healing Circle. We normally do this at each of our monthly meetings. We bring to the light those friends and family we know who are struggling. And would you believe?
Here.
So we'll just light the healing candle and bring to, we remember, particularly at this time, Ruth and John. After the last service we did, we had what's she called?
Tamara.
Yeah, we had Tamara who contacted us. Remember, Tamara has been some of our services. She was the Buddhist nun, and her parents, Ruth and John, she asked for us to remember them. I'd also like to bring to the Healing Service some of our neighbours who are struggling at this time. Particularly Tom and his family, who are recently bereaved. Tim, who's alone, but having to manage on £46 a week. We don't realise people locally are having to use the food banks. And the situation has hit all of us, and these are just some of the people that we know about who are struggling. So we light our peace candle, and I'll give you some words on Renewal as he writes about Advent and Christmas. He says, keep your eyes on the Prince of Peace, the one who doesn't cling to his divine power, the one who refuses to turn stones into bread, jump from great heights and rule with great power, the one who touches the lame, the crippled and the blind, the one who speaks words of forgiveness and encouragement. Keep your eyes on him who becomes poor with the poor, weak with the weak. He is the source of all peace. And from Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 to 15, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other, just as the Lord has forgiven you. So you must also forgive. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts. And Lord, help us to make our way to Bethlehem, to the peace of the Christ child that withstood even the humility of his birth in a stable. Let us seek harmony in our lives, as the angels did when they announced the Christ child's birth in perfect praise. Amen. Elsia, can I just ask, have you got your healing circle, your healing list with you? Yeah. Oh, you have to unmute.
Yes, I have the distant healing list here of the Association for Therapeutic Healers. There's about 60 people, and particularly for me personally, 2 dear friends of mine who are in Hampshire, very, very 40 friends I've had for 40 years. The husband, Doug, is in hospice at the moment. He has a very aggressive cancer that started in his bladder. And so they would really appreciate being remembered on our healing today. Their names are Gillian and Doug. And then there are all these people that the healers in the Association for Therapeutic Healers hold in their thoughts and their meditations. So I always bring them here, and I really appreciate being able to bring this list here when we meet.
Yeah. And we also have to remember Sister Linda's sister, Janet. So there's all these, and there'll be a lot of people who are known to you who need our positive thought at this time. So if we just quietly spend a few moments reflecting on them and remembering them as we bring them to the light. We're in Advent. This is the period of 4 Sundays and weeks before Christmas. And it means, in Latin, Advent means coming. It's the coming of Jesus into the world. And Christians use the 4 Sundays and weeks of Advent to prepare and remember the real meaning of Christmas. But what is the history of Advent? No one really sure when it started, when it was first celebrated, but it dates back to at least AD 567, when monks were ordered to fast during December leading up to Christmas. Some people fast during Advent to help them concentrate on preparing to celebrate the forthcoming birth. In many Orthodox and Eastern Catholic churches, Advent lasts for 40 days and starts on November the 15th, and it's also called the Nativity Fast. And in Celtic Christianity, Advent also starts on the 15th of November. Orthodox Christians often don't eat meat and dairy during Advent, and depending on the day, also olive oil, wine, or fish. But in medieval and pre-medieval times in parts of England, there was an early form of nativity scenes called Advent images, or a vessel cup. They were a box, often with a glass lid, that was covered with a white napkin that contained 2 dolls representing Mary and the baby Jesus. The box was decorated with ribbons and flowers and sometimes apples. They were carried around from door to door. It's thought to be very unlucky if you hadn't seen a box before Christmas Eve, and people paid the box carriers a halfpenny to see the box. So if you see anybody coming with the box, pay them a halfpenny and you'll have good luck. On that note, I say welcome to Carina. We'll bring Carina in, and she's going to talk to us and lead our service today. So it's over to Sweden and to Carina. Bless you, Carina. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Welcome to my presentation of Focalare. I hope it will enjoy you. Because I'm not too skilled in English, I will read within my lines. So please, we will see where this will go. But I will start with the music from the young group that they are grown up. And they are, I don't know the name, but the group's name is Jen Verde. And we will listen to them now. Let's see if this will work.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, no. There we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Estás aquí, en este instante, estás aquí, dentro de mí. Vives aquí, en este nada, y yo lo sé, vives en mí. Quiere vivir a mi Señor, quiere vivir todos los ángeles tú, que escucharé en mi silencio y esperaré que hables y me dirás palabras nuevas, me hablarás del Padre que colmado descubriré. Yo siento en mí tu paz que sacia, un gozo que solo tú sabes dar. En torno a ti yo siento el cielo, un mundo de felicidad. Estás aquí, qué gran misterio, verbo de Dios y humanidad. No existe ya espacio y tiempo, desciende aquí la eternidad. ¿Y qué será el paraíso? ¿Y qué será la vida? Contigo estoy por siempre, siempre. Todos en ti, uno en ti. ¿Y qué será el paraíso? ¿Y qué será la vida? Contigo estoy siempre, siempre. Todos en ti.
And why I share just this piece is because two women from this group were here in Sweden, and I have singing with them. But now I will share with you what Focalare is, and it will be Chiara herself explaining about this, but she is talking very fast, and she is Italian, or was, and there are subtitles, so you can read it if you want to.
Noi vedevamo veramente che anche i nostri piccoli ideali che avevamo andavano in fumo. Per esempio, appunto, io volevo, una mia compagna voleva rifarsi la sua bella casa, eccetera, è crollata, un'altra voleva sposarsi, ma il fidanzato non è tornato dal fronte. Quindi siamo state messe proprio di fronte al tutto crolla, e tutte vanità delle vanità, come dice la Bibbia. Ecco, però io ho sentito dentro come qualcuno che mi dicesse: ci sarà un ideale che non crolla, che nessuna bomba può far crollare, ci sarà. E l'ho detto alle mie compagne, e io ho detto: sì, c'è, è Dio. Dico, facciamo di Dio l'ideale della nostra vita. Dio che in quel momento lì, in un momento di guerra, che era frutto dell'odio, che era frutto del... Ecco, si è manifestato invece come amore. Ho cercato di capire cosa Dio voleva da noi, senza sapere niente, né della composizione del movimento, né dell'espansione, né delle persone che dovevano, né di tutto quello che sarebbe successo. E noi abbiamo cercato di seguire il momento del momento e si è rivelato, lui si è manifestato sempre di più, ci ha detto come vivere il Vangelo in fondo, ci ha dato una spiritualità individuale e collettiva insieme, comunitaria insieme, e ci ha detto come mettere insieme questo movimento, come... Lui l'ha fatto, è opera di Dio.
Wow. That was lovely.
The Focalare movement has the features of a large and varied family of a new people born of the gospel. As Chiara Lubick, its founder, defined it. It is a movement of spiritual and social renewal, founded in Trent, Italy in 1943, during the Second World War. Actually, not far from where St. Francis of Assisi lived and worked. It's just 487.2 kilometers or to 302.7 miles. With car, it should take approximately 4 hours to reach either Trent or Assisi. The Focalare movement, officially known as the work of Mary, was approved by the Catholic Church in 1962. It aims at spreading the message of unity worldwide, inspired by Jesus' prayer to the Father, "May they all be one." Its goal is to promote brotherhood and to achieve a more united world in which people respect and value diversity. To achieve this goal, people of the movement engage in various forms of dialogue and are committed to building bridges of fraternal relationships among individuals, between cultural groups, and in every area of society. Members of the movement include Christians of different churches and ecclesial communities, members of the major world religions, and people of no particular religious belief. Each one adheres to the movement's goal and spirit, while faithfully following the precepts of their own faith and conscience. At the heart of the movement are small communities of men and women who consecrate their lives to God with vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, and live in separate households called Focalares. From the Italian word for the herd, married people are also members of these communities, while remaining in their families and being faithful to their commitment to marriage. They too make the same radical choice of the gospel and offer their lives to bring unity in the world. Chiara Lubich, born 1920 and died 2008, is the founder of the Focalare movement. Chiara, a great charismatic figure of our times, is well known for her tireless work to increase communion, fraternity, and peace among people of different churches, with followers of various world religions, and with people who have no religious belief. Chiara built a relationship of friendship with popes, heads of churches, founders of movements, and political and civil leaders. She has left a great legacy that does not cease to inspire individuals and groups, who in turn influence every area of society. The process for her beatification and canonization began in 2015 and is currently in the diocesan phase. According to the general statutes of the Focalare movement, its president will always be a lay woman with a male co-president who is a priest. The current president is Maria Voce, here on the picture, an Italian attorney, and the co-president is Jesus Moran from Spain, who is a philosopher and theologian. They are assisted by a general council, which includes representatives of every part of the movement: young people, families, consecrated persons, people of different religions, etc. The council members are of different vocations, cultural backgrounds, and national origins. And remember what Chiara said in the movie: the movement is present in 182 countries, which are organized in 22 geographical regions. And more than 2 million people are closely in its life, and the work in which activities are coordinated by a male and female delegate, together with members of local council. I myself have never met Chiara. She died same year that I walked into the church life for the first time after 40 years. But I have met Maria Vuce and Jesus Moran here in Stockholm when over 12 church fathers from whole world joined together to wrote agreement. It was amazing to meet them all in same place. And there were many prayers, hymns, and stories. And the feeling was most holy. We are also proud to one of our bishops here in Sweden. He was appointed to be a cardinal by the Pope. And he, Anders Arborelius, are such a nice and humility person. And once I have served under him, that was also incredible special moment during the Pesach, Easter. And all this got this way because the Pope went into Sweden to reunite the Catholic world with the Lutherans. And my dear friend Patrick, the headmaster of the male community Focalare, were there, and he was like a child on Christmas Day. You should see his face. He was so happy. This is huge, actually. After 500 years separation, we are now one with all that entails. And now I will present to you the female community Focalare, my friends. And here I have a people from Stockholm that talks about how to live within the moment. The first minutes are in Italian and shows the daily life of the Focolarini. After that, my friend Christine explained her experience about it in English.
Siamo 5, siamo 3 italiane e 2 svedesi. Mi chiamo Lidia, è nata a Roma ma cresciuta poi a Trento. Sono qua in Svezia perché vivo in una comunità del Focolare. Io non mi sarei mai immaginata di vivere in Svezia nella mia vita. È stato abbastanza semplice imparare la lingua, entrare un po' nella dinamica, diciamo, della vita, andare in giro in bicicletta con qualsiasi tempo, anche non stare lì a guardare se piove o se non piove. Io mi ero sempre tanto preoccupata della mia strada, della mia vocazione, no? Di che cosa era giusto fare. Io sono cresciuta, diciamo, in mezzo ai focolarini e quindi avevo un po' questa idea, no? Dei focolarini che sono così bravi, sempre sorridenti, sempre su, no? E fino a che, appunto, non sono stata io attratta al focolare e tra l'altro siccome anche quando si entra anche in una strada così è un momento anche di luce, no? E con la luce tu vedi tutto molto meglio, compresi i tuoi difetti, no? E allora lì ho capito che il focolarino è solo un modello da guardare perché è una persona che è molto consapevole di tutte le sue miserie, molto normale e che nonostante questo mette in gioco la sua vita. Tu puoi essere più o meno intelligente, più o meno simpatico, più o meno permaloso, più o meno santo anche, perché ci sono persone che effettivamente riescono ad amare di più, però appunto noi vogliamo fare in modo che la nostra vita possa essere un canale vuoto per trasmettere una luce che abbiamo visto, ma non che noi siamo. Il focolare nasce per essere intanto un segno che prende sul serio il Vangelo, le parole di Gesù, per permettere, diciamo, che sia visibile, quasi tangibile una presenza di Dio, in un senso più ampio la fraternità come obiettivo universale. il Focolare nasce per questo e vorrebbe essere un segno di questo in una società. Io sono Maggie, sono svedese e sono cresciuta a Gällivare, che è oltre il circolo polare, 1313 km da qui, la terra dell'aurora boreale, del renne, c'è tanta neve, il sole non è che scende di notte in certi periodi dell'estate e neanche sale oltre l'orizzonte in certi periodi dell'inverno, ma non è buio così come è buio qui a Stoccolma e c'è questo tipo di lampada per aiutare il fisico. E qui a Stoccolma con noi nel Focolare abbiamo anche le sposate, Inger e Christine.
I'm married to Jonas since 34 years, and we met the Focolare movement in a time of our life when we were very sad because we had learned that we could not have any children. My husband remembered that he had some articles from the paper about Focolare movement that he had been keeping in his cupboard for all these years. And then he suddenly took them down, and without any special discussion, he searched up this Focolare movement that we didn't meet before. And he went there in the evening, and he came home early in the morning, and then he said, I've been in heaven. It was not his usual way of speaking, so I thought this is really important. A bit skeptical, I joined him, and I was swept away by Jesus forsaken, who talked right into our hearts in the situation we were in. It was so different from everything in my secular work. I'm an economist, and I've all my life worked in the civil sector. I could talk about finance and economy and business in Sweden. I won't do that. Because I think on the other side of the coin is this way of how we relate to each other. If we are going to become a village where people are happy, healthy, we need to talk to each other and look into each other's eyes. And I think Focolare movement has the key to try to help people to communicate in a better way.
Yes, and now I will show you some members from the male community. And I will present to you Patrick and Joan Ma. And Patrick is on the right side, and Joan Ma is on the left side. These two are those who twined Brother Sean and me together, actually. 1 year ago, Patrick got sick with a brain tumor. And during Corona crisis, Joan Ma got COVID-19. And he was intubated for 3 weeks. And we in Focolare have prayed for them both for awfully long time. And in June, I felt so strong that I needed help and support to keep on praying because I was worn out. And I had just begun to know Brother Sean. And I felt he was an strong believer. So I dared to ask him if he would help me pray for Patrick, because then Joan Ma was back home recovering. And I was so relieved Brother Sean did. But I was surprised by his endurance. And he helped me through the last time and showed me how lightful the Passover can be. And I was so thankful and let Brother Sean come to the funeral by Facebook that the Focolare was broadcasting. Here is my friend from my little community. There are Mario, and there is Eva, and Brother Sean has prayed for her too. And we have here Agneta in the middle. When it comes to how I met all these people, it actually began in my church, St. Luke. My incredible good friend Agneta had moved into my area 1 year before me. And she is very ecumenical person and know the Focalare community here in Stockholm since many years. The Focalare community are in 2 separate households, 1 female and 1 male, as you see. And they have organized smaller groups where I fit in. So in my community, we are 5 to 10 people that gather once a month. Then we read the month's word from the Bible with reflection from a priest within Focalare in Italy. Then we're supposed to live that word. And after a month, we share to each other how it worked out. But we are like a family, and we actually see each other more often than that. And Focalare also arrange summer camp every year for those with small economy. It calls Mariapoli. It means Mary's town. And now I will end this lecture by letting you listen to a heartfelt music that we always end with in Mariapolis, the summer camp. This is letting me be warm in the heart, and I hope you too will find it delightful.
The shadows they are falling, hear the evening calling. The mountains they call out to me in a whisper of your voice. I hear the melody of eternity. Feel your holy presence with me. A new beginning, a tremble past ascending. As we walk towards the day you will die. Stay with us, Lord. The day is nearly gone. Stay with us, oh Lord. The night will never come. Your presence goes around me. You see the love you give me. And it's hard to just imagine what my life was like before you came and broke the confines of my soul. And what was broken, you made it whole. It breaks so bright, we're blinded by your light. As we walk towards new day, you are Chiederà un cielo senza nuvole, ma che sempre più con questo vero sorgerà qualcuno con te fra noi il deserto fiorirà. Aspettiamo l'esisto scende tu, ecco qui con noi, aspettiamo l'esisto scende tu, se tu sei con noi. Resta qui con noi, resta qui con noi, il sole scende già, se tu sei con noi, non è resta qui con
And now I will end with a prayer.
Nej, jag har inga arbetsskador.
Är du nöjd?
Nej, jag är inte nöjd.
Sorry.
Jag är inte ute.
So I will end with prayer. And instead of me saying the word, I will do it with a girl that her name is Ida Möller. Fader vår, du som är i himlen, heligt är ditt namn. Låt din vilja ske i mitt liv och här på jorden. Värdigt är ditt namn. Jag böjer mig inför dig, Gud. Din ära, din Namaste. Och all härlighet i evighet. Amen. Amen.
Förlåt min skuld och hjälp mig förlåta andra. Hjälp mig leva nu. Befara hjärtats Oh, I'm Du som är himmel, älskat är ditt namn. Oändlig är min tacksamhet. Fader vår.
Beautiful.
And now I will stop sharing screen. Yes.
Thank you,
And
dear.
thank you for listening.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Wow. Hmm? Yeah. You can speak now.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Carina, what can I say? Thank you so much on behalf of all of us. That was truly wonderful, and I know it wasn't easy for you to do it. English isn't your native tongue, so thank you so much for the efforts you put into that.
Yeah.
And explaining to us about the Focalare movement, because I had no idea what it was. So thank you, and thank you for letting us see Sweden, the northern lights and the herd of reindeer.
Oh.
Yeah, the houses, the IKEA furniture, Anne. She's just struggled with an IKEA wardrobe. But yes, it was lovely to see it also. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
For sharing that. Before I do forget, when I was talking about the healing circle and people, remembering people, just before I came into the studio here, I had a WhatsApp from, some of you will remember Claire, who sometimes attends our Sunday service here. Claire's partner is in Senegal, and he'd been imprisoned without charge for 5.5 months. And 6 weeks ago, Claire went over there to sort it out, and within a few days he was released. Not that that's had anything to do with her, but there were top officials involved. It was all a government thing. And we've spoken, yes, we have spoken with Idrissa, her partner, Claire translates because his native tongue is French. So they both join with us in spirit today. I asked her if she was going to join us, and she said the signal is too weak. I understand that because my signal, I've been struggling with it for the past 24 hours. I've no mobile signal here, and they keep telling me it's been under maintenance or something. But so I've got a weak signal as well. But we couldn't relay it to Senegal this afternoon. But I said we would remember Claire, Idrissa, and the family in our positive thought today. So thank you. I'm not sure whether we can do questions. Can we, Sean?
Yeah.
If anybody wants to ask Carina a question, then
To unmute.
just unmute yourself, please. And can I just start by saying, Carina, you did say the Focalare, we are now one with all that entails, the Lutheran and the Catholic Church. How did that come about? What was the Lutheran take on that? How did they react to the Focalare movement? And if that's not too big a question.
No, in Focalare, they are happy because they are not so traditional in Catholic thinking.
Yeah.
So they were very happy when this decision when it comes from the Pope. So they are very they will embrace it.
Good, thank you.
And also we in the Swedish Church will too embrace it, but we are a little more backdrawn.
Yeah.
So there are some difficulties to go through, if you say so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The political side of things. Yeah. Anybody else got any questions for Carina?
Do you want to unmute, Pat? Pat, you need to unmute.
Pat, will you unmute?
There we are.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. I wondered, you say there are groups, is there a group in England or Scotland?
Yeah, there is English site that you can surf into. I think there are in England, but I have not searched so much yet.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps there are.
It sort of connects, doesn't it, Pat, with our thinking? We've lost, what have you done?
That's okay.
It sort of connects, Pat, doesn't it, with our beliefs and way of being, really.
Yes.
You and me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I have to have a look for it.
Yeah.
Delcia had a hand up.
Unmute, Delcia.
Unmute yourself, if you will, please.
Yeah.
Delcia.
Thank you, Carina. This might be too big a question, so please ignore it if it's too big. But in my experience, all organizations have like a more shadow side. They have conflicts and difficulties. And I wondered how in the Focalare movement, is there a structure, or are people taught ways of communicating to overcome? You talked a lot about communicating when communication is difficult, because obviously the more diverse people are, the more likely there is to be misunderstanding. So I was curious as to whether there was sort of real particular ways of managing that in the organization. But that's a big question, so if it's too big, I understand.
Yes, I will answer. This Focalare community here in Stockholm, there are two, the male and female community. And the headmaster of them both, it was Patrick that you saw on picture, and there is Carina. And these two have been in Italy for 5 years, and they were going through I don't know the name. They had to learn how to be actually a priest, but they aren't priests in traditional way, but they are so near you can be, and they are very skilled to put people together and make them be happy together. So there are always a dialogue form that we will sit down and talk to each other, and everyone has their time to explain their feelings, and we have no opportunity to throw anything back on anyone. So we stand back, listen, and try to be polite and so on. So we are actually avoiding very much conflicts in those communities. But of course there are conflicts, and then we try to solve them carefully, if you say so.
Mm.
Mm.
Thank you. Is anybody else on the view?
Would anybody else like to ask a question of Carina?
No.
Oh,
Just go through again. It's in there. Suzanne Porter.
hello, Suzanne.
Anybody else?
And
yeah. Okay. Right. Thank you, everybody, and thank you again to Carina. I know it must be very difficult. I can't imagine what it's like to have to answer a heavy question with when it's not your native tongue. So thank you for all that you've done in today. We do appreciate it.
yeah.
And as we come to the end of our service, I return again to the words of wisdom from Henri Nouwen, who says, "The coming of the Lord, it is Advent again. Be alert, so that you will be able to recognize your Lord in your husband, your wife, your parents, your children, your friends, your teachers, but also in all that you read in the daily papers. The Lord is coming, always coming. Be alert to his coming. When you have ears to hear and eyes to see, you will recognize him at any moment of your life. Life is Advent. Life is recognizing the coming of the Lord." And if we turn to the Bible, the Gospel of St. Mark, "But about that day or hour, no one knows, neither the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father. Beware, keep alert, for you do not know when the time will come. It is like a man going on a journey, when he leaves home and puts his slaves in charge, each with his work, and commands the doorkeeper to be on the watch. Therefore, keep awake, for you do not know when the master of the house will come, in the evening, or at midnight, or at cockcrow, or at dawn, or else he may find you asleep when he comes suddenly." And to the Prince of Peace, let us be especially alert to your coming during this Advent. As a parent listens for the cry of an infant, as a sailor watches for land, as an astronomer scans the skies, as a doctor watches for signs of returning health, let us be attentive to your arrival. Let not our pride and arrogance blind us and put us to sleep. Give us the endurance to be true watchers of the night as we journey through this Advent.
Shall I play Gaelic Blessing? Yeah. Now. We dedicate this to you, Carina.
Peace of the running waves to you.
Deep peace of the flowing earth to you. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the gentle light to you. For the stars, for the healing light on you. Deep peace of Christ, of Christ, the light of the world. Deep peace of Christ. Deep peace of the quiet earth to you. Deep peace of the shining stars to you. Deep peace of the living God and the love of His Son to you. Deep peace of Christ to you. Thank you all for being with us today. And as I send out the healing light everywhere, unite with me as we extinguish the peace candle and send this healing light throughout the world. Amen. Amen. Can I just say, we meet again the first Sunday in January, which by my reckoning is 3rd of January at 2:00 in the afternoon, UK time. Before then, of course, we have the Christmas and New Year celebrations. So on behalf of us both here, we wish you all a safe and peaceful Christmas tide and a New Year. And let's hope that 2021 is a better year for the world. So bless you all. If you want to stay on, that's fine, and chat, but we bring our service here today to an end. So bless you all.
Bless you.
Thank you.